Here I have a lovely setup for refluxing a reaction. We have our round bottom flask, our hot plate, and then our condenser. So we're all set to go. Notice that I have clamped all of my glassware. So one clamp for every piece of glassware. And we want to make sure that we're supporting the weight, but we don't want everything to be so tight that it's going to be causing some sort of weird tension or torque between our different pieces of glassware. So just make sure that everything is in a reasonable amount. So normally we're going to use these heating blocks, and we want to make sure we choose the appropriately sized one. You'll notice we have different size ones in lab. Now to raise this whole thing, we want to loosen the top clamp, then the bottom, and lift from the bottom. And we want to bring it back down, rest the weight onto the heating block, and then tighten everything. But again, we don't want any tension in the glassware, so we tighten it carefully. Then we want to make sure we've got our hoses set up correctly. So we want the water to be coming in the bottom of our condenser and going back out the top. It's important that we're going in the right direction. We also want to wire down our hoses so they don't pop off and cause a flood in your hood. So we have copper wire in the lab, and then you can just use pliers to tighten it down onto the ridges that are already on the condenser. So you just go ahead and tighten that around, and then check and make sure it's not going to come off, not going to have any unwanted floods. One fun feature of these labs is that you can open up that flap on the hood in order to put the cord through there and not cause any sort of problem shutting our hood. So once we've got that connected, we can go ahead, turn on our stirring and heating and get our reaction boiling, which you can see it's doing here, boiling, dripping down. You can actually see the solvent coming back down in the glassware, and you want to look for a reflux ring now. There should be a point as you move up the column where you actually see the solvent recondensing. It's really hard to see in the video because it's a clear solvent and clear glass, but you should be able to see it with your own eyes in real life. That reflux ring should stay in the bottom 1/3 of the condenser to prevent excess evaporation of our solvent. And if it's too high, like it was in this one, go ahead and decrease the heat to bring it back down to the bottom 1/3. So now your reaction should be happily refluxing away, and you can go and look up Duran Duran.